session.
This is Sky News with Anna Jones.
Hello, good evening, and we begin with breaking news tonight. In the last few minutes, it's being reported that the Algerian hostage crisis is over, but that more British hostages have died. We haven't been able to confirm that information independently. It comes after the Prime Minister warned the country to prepare for bad news. He's cancelled an important European trip to take personal charge of the situation. Here's what he had to say a short time ago.
We face a very bad situation at this BP gas compound in Algeria. A number of British citizens have been taken hostage. Already we know of one who has died. The Algerian armed forces have now attacked this compound. It is a very dangerous, a very uncertain, a very fluid situation, and I think we have to prepare ourselves for the possibility of bad news ahead. Cobra officials here are working around the clock to do everything we can to keep in contact with the families, to build the fullest possible picture of the information and the intelligence that we have. I've chaired meetings of Cobra today. I'll continue to do so, and I'll do everything I can to update people about what is a difficult and dangerous and potentially very bad situation.
The Prime Minister there speaking a short time ago. Well, events in Algeria have been moving quickly throughout the day, often with conflicting information. Sky's senior correspondent Michelle Clifford has the story.
Even now, hours after reports of an assault on this compound first emerged, details are sketchy. What is certain is that Algerian forces attacked the facility. What is still unknown, and what governments around the world are desperate to establish, is exactly what happened to all the hostages. One family at least have the answer. In Belfast, they got the call to say Irish hostage Stephen McFall is alive and free. It was news they feared not hearing.
His wife phoned here. Stephen had phoned her, and Angela phoned us to say he was free and he was at a safe camp.
I can't even explain my excitement. Just can't wait till he gets home to see him. I'm just going to say that he's never going back there, and I'm not letting him go back.
I was delighted. But I feel sorry for the other hostages that's still there. I don't know what's happened to them.
Those other families will now be fearing the worst, with local reports of many dead at the facility. It's believed the kidnappers were attempting to leave the compound with the hostages when Algerian forces opened fire from the air. The installation is roughly 25 miles from Ain Amenas in eastern Algeria. The militants first attacked a bus carrying foreigners leaving the complex along the road for the airport on Wednesday. The group then took over part of the living quarters, taking hostages. It's not known where they were being held at this vast base or where Algerian forces started the operation to free the hostages. What is known is that other governments were not forewarned. The British Prime Minister amongst those leaders who only learned of the attack once it was underway. Those governments will now have to deal with the consequences.
It's obviously looks like they've rushed into it, but we don't know if they've had their hands turned or not, do we? So they could have based their decisions based around what was going on in the camp at the time. Now, anything could have spooked these people that had taken the guys hostage, and therefore, if they start upping the ante, you don't have the time to plan as you would normally. You've got to get in there and sort it out straight away.
Plenty of questions are already being asked of the Algerians. Why they chose to act when others were seeking a diplomatic solution. It was an international crisis, but they took control.
If they had shown weakness and not attempted to shorten this hostage crisis, they would be weak and they would be potentially vulnerable themselves to more attacks by other groups who would see their opportunity.
But the unilateral action has inevitably stirred international ire, with the US seeking clarity, the British Prime Minister fearing further bad news, and so many families still waiting to hear what has happened to their loved ones. Michelle Clifford, Sky News.
Well, in a moment, we'll get all the latest from Glenna Glaser in Downing Street.